Maturing is realizing that healthy, successful Black couples do in fact exist. So my boyfriend is in med school and I am a new grad nurse in New York State. And yes, we are a healthcare couple. I know it's giving like Grey's Anatomy right now. And I never used to post about my man at all because I'm very big on having a private relationship. Also, and I love this about him, he does not use social media. That man has never had an Instagram a day in his life. And I had to convince him to keep TikTok just so I can send him TikToks. But besides that, he does not use social media. Anyway, I realized when I started talking about him on my social media, one, a lot of people would always assume I was not with a Black man, which is false. My man is completely Black. Like, his whole family is from Jamaica. And two, there was a time that I was literally getting attacked by men on social media because they said my standards were too high. And they thought that the man I was describing did not exist, when in fact I was describing my man. Mind you, I have been with this man for 2 years. So we were together before he even started applying for med school, before I got into nursing school. And now we're at a place in our lives where we're accomplishing our goals. He's in his first year of med school, and I'm about to start working as a psych ED nurse next week. But one of the reasons I started posting about my relationship is because I feel like there is not enough representation of what a healthy Black relationship looks like in society now. I feel like a lot of the media always hones in on toxicity, drama, and all that stuff. When there are, in fact, regular people living everyday lives who are together, who are in healthy relationships. One of my other videos went viral the other day, and I was posting about all the flowers this man has ever gotten me and how I'm saving them for our future wedding day. And some of the comments were literally saying, oh, like, what if he cheats on you? You guys are not going to stay together, blah, 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 blah. And I feel like it's so sad that now in society it's been normalized to assume that a couple will not stay together, especially because of the color of their skin. Because I bet you if it was a couple of any other race, you guys would not be commenting that. But anyways, all the hate comments I've been getting, I think is actually a good thing, because it's made me realize that there is a lack of positive Black representation when it comes to relationships. And if you're watching this, I want you to know that good men and good women do exist. And to not give up, because even today it is possible to find a healthy relationship in which both of you guys are successful or working towards your goals. And don't let the internet discourage you from thinking that you can find love. And that's it for my little rant. Bye, babes.
Welcome back to the channel. You see the information on the screen, so you know what I'm about. So let's get into it. I 100% agree with this lady. And I think it's sad that so many people don't think that what she is saying is true. And this is the very thing that I've been talking about for a long period of time. Now, her man was Jamaican. She did talk about him being Jamaican. And I actually think from her name, she might not have a culture of Black Americans. So if you're generational Black, so that basically means you have like 7 generations of Black people that will take you all the way back into the 1800s, then you generally have a different, slightly different perspective than people who only maybe 2 or 3 generations ago, their parents, came to America. Okay. So I did want to make sure I talked about that. However, even among generational Black people, like I say, 7 generations or more, i.e. some people might say DOS. Like I say, it just means descendants of slaves. It doesn't mean anything bad. Okay. For all the people that are not used to that particular term, even at that level, you're dealing with men that it just really depends upon what those men have been through, what they've been taught. Okay, that is going to really dictate, okay, these men. And what's so funny about it is that most women know these men. In her comments, they have several people that are saying, how did you meet? I don't understand how you found this guy, all these other types of things. And what's funny to me is every Black man out here that's got halfway even a little bit of sense is actually telling you where to find men like this, because we're all over the place. And it's funny because, like, I talk about it all the time. It's like when you really deal with any spectrum, whether it's men or women, okay, the top 20% are the ones that everybody pays attention to. But I will also say there is a bottom percentage that people also pay attention to. And let's give it a really quick example, so all of you will kind of figure it out, especially for the women, since the women are saying that these men, it's hard to find them. Okay, well, let's do it. So if you went to the mall, that old place that's ancient, and if you went to the mall on any given Saturday, right, throughout the year, we're just going to say a basic Saturday throughout the year, while the mall is still around, how many people do you think would be there? Let's assume that there's going to be around 1,500 people, or maybe 1,000 or 1,500, well, however you feel. It doesn't really matter. Okay, I think you could kind of see it in your head that there might be 1,000 people at the mall, right? You kind of figure that out. You like, Jay, I can go with you. It's 1,000 people. Because if you go to Walmart, there's probably at least 400 or 500, walking around Walmart. If you go in the middle of the day, like 2:00. So you go to the mall's 1,000 people. As a woman, you walk through the mall. There's men there, okay, walking next to you. But if I grabbed you as soon as you came out of the mall, you've been in there for 2 hours, and I said, okay, who are the people you remember? Who are the people, period, just you remember, men or women, who are the people you remember? You would probably think really hard, and the people that you will remember are going to be, generally speaking, the people that you thought were extremely attractive, whether men or women. If as a woman, you might be like, oh, I think she's so pretty. I like her outfit. I like her clothes. I like her purse, whatever it was. I like her hairstyle. Okay. Or if a man walked by and you just thought he was just drop dead, awesome, came right out of a Hallmark movie, right? You will remember him. And then anybody that grossed you out, that you thought was weird, that you thought, you felt stranger danger with, you would remember that person. And then anybody that helped you, like if you, went into Macy's and the woman behind the counter helped you, or if you went into someplace else and a guy helped you, you would probably remember them. But even though you can say that there's probably 1,000 people in that mall and you were in that mall for 1 to 2 hours, you don't remember anybody but a handful of people. Yet, so we're going to start there. So that's part one. So you got to recognize that most of us don't really pay attention to people. Now, men have a benefit because we pay attention to everybody. And the reason why men pay attention to everybody is for two reasons. Almost every woman that passes us, our brain, our subconscious brain, is basically asking the question, can this woman bring children? I'm just being honest. That's really what the question is. Not trying to hurt feelings or ruffle feathers. That's just what the question is. That's what the subconscious is saying. And if we believe that the woman can bring us children, we're going to pay attention to her. All right. And if the woman can't bring forth children, we're probably not going to pay as much attention to her. That's just how it works. All right. Like I said, it's a subconscious level, something God gave us. All right. Then the next part is we always are scanning for danger. So every man is dangerous. Every man. Whether they are taller than us, shorter than us, more muscular than us, smaller than us, because a lot of us even understand that even if we are decently built or whatever, the little skinny dude, 9 times out of 10, he's scary and he might have a gun or a knife and might want to stab us for no reason. Okay, so we're like always on alert. That's just how it is. As a man, you're always on alert, so you're always paying attention. But women, not so much. Y'all don't really pay that much attention. It's one of the main reasons why I'm always telling women to open their eyes to see. So we're going to start there. So that just lets you know through that example, there are men. There are men. You're just not paying attention to them, but they're there. Now let's zip over here to, again, the Google search. Take 5 minutes. Google, okay, where are the nice guys? Nice guys finish last. All this kind of crap. Okay. That, a lot of people talk about. And I even say it on this channel. I'm a nice guy. I am the nice guy. I'm not the typical nice guy in how they do it from a stereotypical place, but I have no problem with saying it. Okay. I love being the nice guy. I have no issues with it. I've not really had that much of a problem finding women because I recognize that the women that I want, they're going to love the fact that I'm a nice guy. And when they see it, like I say, they'll jump over 3 cars in order to talk to me. But see, women that have been trained to believe that the nice guy is the guy that you avoid, the nice guy is a loser, the nice guy is boring. See, the problem with them is they don't recognize the nice guy is your blessing. The nice guy is the guy that you want. The nice guy is the one that you should be sitting in your bed at night, daydreaming and having fantasies about. I'm just being real. Because that's the guy that's going to take care of you. That's the guy that's going to marry you and not cheat on you. That's the guy that's going to be there for your children. And see, this lady, she was taught somewhere to go for the nice guy, to marry the nice guy, to talk to the nice, well, she's not married, but to talk to the nice guy. And there was somebody else in her comments that says, black love still exists. It's crazy how they swear all black men are the same. My husband is an amazing black man fully. And see, that's the whole thing. A lot of black women have to understand that there are black women out here that have been trained. Date the nice guy. Be with the nice guy. Follow after the nice guy. Go for the good guy. They've been trained to do it. And those women follow along their training, and it works out for them. And see, that's really where the issue is. The issue is it's the decision made up front. It's the decision to say, you know what, I want a good man versus a stylish man. I want a good man that will love me versus a man that's out here profiling. I want a man that will take care of me, be there for my children, all this other kind of stuff, versus a man that I think is fun. And I have told you all, and I've been honest, I've been open and honest on this channel about my own dating journey. And the reason why I'm open and honest is because I'm trying to use myself as an example. And then many times I also try to use, people in Christian Singles Connect or Christian Millennials Connect also as examples so that you can learn from. But about, like I said, at this point, maybe 40%, 35-40% of the women that I've dated have sat right in front of me and have explained to me that I am different from every other man that they have ever dated. That they thought I would be boring. That they thought I would be dull. When they first met me, they were like, I don't know about this guy. And he don't really kind of dress like I think guys should dress. And, he seems conservative. Like I said, it was so funny. I mean, I've had, like, all the women all say the same thing, which is always funny to me. My best version of the one I love the most, is the Clark Kent Superman. So one lady literally said, she was like, you are like Clark Kent and Superman. She was like, you had your glasses on. And for y'all don't know, I do wear my glasses sometimes. So she was like, you put your glasses on and you're Clark Kent. You have all this information, you'll be teaching me stuff and all this other kind of stuff. And then she was like, then you have this other side of you that's like Superman. And it's like everything that I could want, I'm getting from Superman. So she's like, you're giving me both, but I would have never thought it because I only thought you would ever be Clark Kent. But now I recognize that you're really Superman. And see, that's the problem. Black women have never been taught that. They've never been taught that you go after Clark Kent. You don't go after Superman. Because if the man is walking around as Superman all the time, more than likely, that is his false identity. See, that's the thing about Clark Kent and Superman. Superman was born Superman. But he put the glasses on and put the little suit on and put his head down because that's him covering up the fact that he's Superman. He really is Superman. But when men are walking around and they have that false persona, and see, that's when all of y'all are thinking, oh, these men have their representative and all this other kind of stuff. And a lot of times the reason why the men feel like they have to do that is because you don't accept them for just being normal. You're not accepting them for being the good guy. And like I said, all you got to do is Google it. You don't have to listen to me. And you're going to find even people out there, other influencers, telling men, don't be the nice guy. Nice guys finish last. Don't do that. I'm telling you, even women. Look, I'm just telling you guys, just don't do it. Women like a man that's a little mean. But here's the thing, ladies, the ones that follow me. You want to get married? I'm teaching you how to do it. The top 20% of men, 9 times out of 10, they don't want you. They just going to hit it and quit it. The bottom 20% of men, these men, they losers. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry I hurt some men's feelings. I don't think those men will be watching my channel anyway. But they're pretty much losers. They've given up. They're sitting at home, playing video games, watching porn, and that's their life. But the 60% in the middle, those are the ones, that we talk about. Now, this is not talk about the average man here. This is just talking about more of his attitude, the way that he goes about life. And the average man is just trying to live his life. That's what he's doing. All right. And so I'm not saying don't find attractive men, because there's attractive men in that middle tier. I'm not saying, for the men that are watching, don't find attractive women, because it's the same thing works for men and women. It's the same thing. It's just like when men are saying, hey, there's no good women out here. Well, it's the same thing, exact same thing. There's lots of great women. I find them all the time. Like I said before, just because I found lots and lots of really great women doesn't mean that I'm ready to marry any one of them, because it's more than just finding a good personality. Like, even in all of my, like I say, I'll date somebody, I might date them for 3 months or whatever, and then we go our own separate ways. I've only had one woman that was extremely mad about the situation, extremely mad, to the point where she wanted revenge, where she was trying to do drama and all this other kind of stuff. And I'll be honest, I had made a couple of mistakes, because that was right as, I had gotten out of my divorce, and I didn't really understand or gone through, the divorce. Is like maybe 5 months afterward. And I didn't really understand that you were supposed to really give women all this closure. So I really just didn't know. And so that's why I'm like, yeah, I was mad at her for the time, but, I was like, whatever. But once you get really beyond that, most of the women, once I understood that, yeah, we have to talk it out, they have to ask their questions, blah, 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 I didn't really have any more drama. Because I don't pick bad women. I just don't. And I don't understand why men are even attracted to some of these women. As soon as I'm listening to the conversation, and it's not about money, it's not about education, it's about the woman's attitude. It's like I told you, I walked away from the prettiest woman for me that I had ever met. 100% walked away from her. She was, a good age, at that particular time. She wanted children. She was, educated, but like I said, this wasn't necessarily had anything to do with her education. To me, like I said, she was gorgeous. She was actually a nice person. I could tell she came from a good family. But once we started to talk, and it wasn't that she was mean, because she wasn't. She was actually a nice person. It was just that we didn't have really a future in common. We didn't want the same things. And the way she made me feel was that she had shut off the part of her that wanted to attach as a normal woman. And I felt more like I was a checkbox in her fantasy of life than I was a real person. And when you marry someone, you're marrying the person. You're not marrying the fantasy of marriage. And because of that, I walked away. And even to this day, I don't regret walking away. Why? Because she wasn't the one. But see, the thing about it is, I know a lot of guys would have tried to make it work. They're like, man, this is the prettiest woman I ever been with. She wants to marry me. She got this, she got that. She's actually a nice person. They would have tried to make it work. No, I'm not going to try to make that work. Okay, you don't try to force a relationship to work. You go after the people that are ready, that are givers, that are ready to love, that are ready to get themselves out here, okay, and be married. And see, this is, like I said, one of those problems that a lot of you all are making a mistake. The lady in the video, she wasn't making that mistake. Her man wasn't making that mistake. It's the way to understand whether or not a person in front of you is truly ready to be married, or they're just playing a game, or they just don't know anything about marriage at all. And a lot of people, they just don't understand it. And I've told you, the person should be open. They should be honest. They should be friendly. They should be going through with the non-negotiables. They should actually take ownership of you. And I've explained that in a couple of other videos. So all these things have to be in place in order for the person, okay, to be worthy of marriage. And if the person is not worthy of marriage, why are you wasting your time with them? Which is, again, one of the problems with a lot of women in their 20s, because many black women believe that your 20s are your time to have fun. But see, that was feminist rhetoric. That's feminist rhetoric, believing that men spend their 20s trying to have fun. No, men are to spend their 20s trying to make their money. That is what your 20s are for as a man. is to make your money. It is to build your business. It is to go to school. It is to do whatever it is you need. I mean, I don't care if you don't go to school. You can basically build up being a truck driver. Okay, but it's your time to invest. I have seen like a good friend of mine, his whole life. Okay, he just kind of did what I would consider medium tier jobs. All right, and when I met him, he was actually a janitor. True story. He was a janitor. I thought about bringing him on this channel a couple of times. And he dates a woman. He's like 65 years old right now, 64, 65. He's retired, lives in a big house here in Atlanta. Okay, drives a nice car, has a girlfriend half his age. I think she might be 35. Okay, he raised 2 boys by himself because his wife, passed away. So the last 7 years of his boys' lives, he was the only person who took care of them. He doesn't have debt. He doesn't have issues. He buys what he wants. He goes where he wants. He does what he wants. Like I said, he's got this young girlfriend. She has a daughter. Okay, he spoils her daughter. Okay, and he pretty much does what he wants. And he did that as, from my understanding, a janitor. See, if you plan your life and if you do what you're supposed to do, it's not about the money. It's not about any of that. It's about understanding that you can have it, but you have to work for it. Okay, and you have to understand one step at a time. But these people exist, both men and women. But if you can't find them, you need to be honest with yourself. And you need to say, I just can't find them. I don't know what I'm doing. And you need to make a change. Because see, that's the next thing. I was talking to a friend about the channel, recently. And they told me straight up, they was like, Jay, I know what you're trying to do. But they were like, do you really believe that any one of these people is going to change? Because they were like, the problem is that they don't want to change. They want to continue to do what they're doing and believe that something is miraculously just going to fix itself in their life. And I told them straight up, I was like, I cannot be worried about that. I can only be worried about, the message God has given me and to put myself out here and to hope that people are smart enough to recognize, okay, if I keep hitting my head against this brick wall and it keeps hurting every single time I hit my head, that I have to do something different. And hopefully people will understand it as early as possible. Hopefully in their 20s and early 30s. Because for many people, unfortunately, by the time they get into their 40s and 50s, it's almost a wrap. And I don't mean to say that in a very negative way, because I think that God can bring back so much and can help people in so many different ways. But the earlier you get on that path, the better. So even if somebody's 50 right now and they're watching this video, you need to get on that path now. You don't need to play around. You should have learned enough over the last 30 years to know, okay, I need to get on this path and I need to get on it now. Because the longer you wait, the more difficult it's going to become. And then, again, you'll be sitting there in front of God mad and upset. And again, God going to be like, didn't I send somebody to tell you to change? And you just didn't. So, that's on that. But yeah, the bottom line is, it's plenty of really great people. You have to find them. And for ladies, the nice guy that has a little bit of grit. And I've always said that about the nice guy, because you really do have some pathetic ones out there too. But see, I put them in the loser category. I don't really say that those are nice guys. But you have to find a man with a little twinkle in his eye. And as long as you find that, you'll be fine. Okay, you'll be fine. He might not necessarily, like I say, be the most attractive. You might have to clean him up. You might have to buy him some clothes or whatever it is. And you can buy it with his money. Okay, you don't have to buy it with your money. But you need to recognize those are the guys that do well. All right? The other guys ain't about nothing. All right? You got to stay away from bad men. Start to recognize who are the good men. Anyway, please like, please subscribe. Remember, every other Thursday, we do Thursday Talks. And I will see you in the next video.